One of the most beneficial things we all can do in American soccer is understand the landscape around us when it comes to our soccer culture in America. And this really digs down to a fundamental myth or fear that, well, America is a shaky soccer country. It doesn't have vast soccer history. It doesn't have a lot of soccer players or soccer fans. Uh, when you start to look at the lay of the land, both at a local level around you in your particular area and at a national level through the help of travel or other experts or our connected resources, you start to realize that America does have all of the resources it needs to be a great soccer nation, both from a sporting and economic industry standpoint. So when you drill down to the landscape, you can go back into history. One of the things I didn't realize is that we have a rich soccer history that goes back over 100 years. And yes, it's not as rich as maybe some other nations around the world, but regardless, we still have great clubs that go back over 100 years. We have a great domestic cup competition, I think the oldest in the world right now. We've had great players over the years. We've had a national team that was a semifinalist in 1930 in the World Cup. So the landscape of our history is there. If you look at what our current landscape looks like today, we've got, as I mentioned many times before, we've got 25 plus million players. This is as of 2006 when FIFA last measured, so you can be sure that that number is higher today. And you're seeing with things like television ratings, for example, MLS is only capturing 7% of American soccer television viewers. So our love for soccer in general is booming here in America year by year, even though MLS doesn't show it. Authentic club soccer around the world is really, really drawing interest here in America. And you see that when foreign clubs come here to America to play friendlies. The attendance is off the charts. And we tune in for the World Cup. We tune in for the Champions League on TV. We tune in for foreign leagues. So soccer is huge here from a fan standpoint, from a player standpoint. So understanding that big picture landscape that, whenever someone says, oh, soccer is not popular here, that's just a flat out myth. It doesn't need to be the most popular sport in America. No, that's not a requirement or prerequisite. It's in a country of 330 million people, there are millions and millions and millions of serious soccer first fans here. So understanding that landscape as well, along with history, is important where we're at today, especially in this connected age when we have access to the whole world of soccer through the internet and television. So beyond that, understanding the soccer culture kind of from a player, coaches, youth club, professional club standpoint. We've got many players playing pickup ball in the streets, particularly if you look in the inner circle of large metropolitan areas in the U.S. That's where you're going to find that pickup ball culture that people say is missing in America. Now, again, the myth that the entire country has to be, all of our 330 million people have to be actively participating in this pickup culture is not true. Again, soccer doesn't need to be the most popular sport in America. Let's throw that to the side. If you look in the right places, and I'm here in Minnesota, USA, in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and all it takes here as far as discovering the landscape is just going into the inner ring of the metro area, into particularly the urban inner city areas. It gets cold sometimes here, but people are still playing inside during the cold winter months. If you go outside, if you go to some of the main parks in the Minneapolis area, for example, you'll find plenty of youth and adults playing pickup ball. And you'll notice that it's not that white, suburban kind of the typical youth soccer demographic you'd associate with right now. And so it's just about looking in the right places. The soccer culture is there. We also have some huge tournaments for African American and Asian American groups here in Minnesota. So you'll probably find this same picture in most of the other top 30, 40, 50 major metro areas in the USA. So the raw soccer culture is there from a player standpoint, from a pickup soccer culture standpoint. We have that soccer serious piece. And so really for me, it was just a step of taking time to learn what was around me in my area, going to places that maybe I didn't go to before to just play pickup ball or to observe what's around me, going to ethnic tournaments here in my area. And once I really started to explore and also get in touch with people around the country and observe what else was going on around the nation, it really became apparent to me that soccer wasn't a baby sport. It was indeed a major sport in the U.S. When I put it all together, the history, the number of fans, our love for World Club Soccer, World Cup, and also our pickup ball culture that we see here, we are a nation that is indeed equipped to be a world soccer superpower. So it's very important wherever you're at to understand the soccer scene. Don't just rely on other people to tell you what the situation is. We're seeing a little bit with more than a little bit with our American soccer media. It's compromised because MLS, Major League Soccer, has control over the market. So if you want to make money as a journalist, as a media personality, you have to distribute news or present the situation in a manner that works under the MLS corporate interest rather than the general independent soccer journalist interest. So do your own research, connect with people, use social and the internet to do your own digging on what the U.S. soccer landscape is like. Another thing I want to mention is there are some player development experts, particularly on social media, Twitter. You can find they have some deep coaching experience, and they're producing some solid players. So connect with them as well, because they're able to put that link or connect that link between promotion, relegation, and open markets, and the youth development incentives down at the younger ages. And that's a very important piece because they have some legit product to actually put behind that theory here in American soccer. They can actually say, well, here's what's happening. Here's why we have no incentive. Here's why things operate the way they do in the trenches of the youth game, because they have vast knowledge and years of experience as practitioners at that youth level. So tap into that resource as well. So understand the American soccer landscape around you, the environment around you, and from there, once you realize what the real situation is, you can decide for yourself on what the way forward is. My conclusion is it's time for an open market. We have so much potential here in America at all levels. We have the history, we have the fans, we have the players, we have the infrastructure. All we need is good leadership at the U.S. soccer governing level. So if you like this video, make sure to share it out on social media and also subscribe right here to my channel. And I'll talk to you soon.